the students get a worse experience of education?
Of course not. First of all, let me say that any calculation of student-staff ratio at the moment is at best premature, because we've already said that we're not sure what staff we'll be losing where and when. I think there's a difference between the student-staff ratio that is numeric. For example, if I recruit a lot of extra researchers into the university who do research only and don't teach the students at all, then the student-staff ratio will drop, but you can quickly work out that the student experience wouldn't change very much. So I think it's about what students experience in the classroom and in the practical classes and so on that's crucial, and we will be looking to protect that as much as we can, albeit in very difficult circumstances. Now, of course, if we do take 35 million in cost savings out of the organisation, I think it is inevitable that there will be some areas of the university where the student staff ratio may increase. And for me to pretend that it won't would be naive. But we have to try and manage that situation and protect our student experience as much as we can, which is another reason why we need to plan now.
Are the students going to get any role in this process of consultation about what happens? Obviously, you've got a system in place to consult with your staff. How can the students have any input into this process?
The students have to be involved, and I'm delighted to say that our Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Learning and Teaching, Viv Jones, has already done a very, very good job of keeping students informed about what's going on and bringing them into the discussion. Now, we of course tend to operate with the student leaders, Leeds University Union, and we're talking to them all of the time. They have a series of student academic representatives through the faculties and schools, and we're making sure that they're involved, and we're asking heads of school to involve students in discussions. So I think I would like to reassure the students of this university that their views will be being sought through this process. I'm doing an open meeting myself, I think it's next week on the 2nd of December, which is open to all students to come and ask me questions. Professor John Fisher and Professor Vivian Jones did something similar 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think we do have a good reputation for working closely with students in times of difficulty. This isn't the first set of difficulties that we've faced in this university, and we intend to keep students involved this time too.
Is there any chance that any student will find the course they're on cut off, ended?
No. Any student that starts a course in this university will finish that course in this university, and they will be a graduate of this university. We have a 100% commitment to our students completing what they've started.
Now, you've made an issue ever since you got here of being transparent and open in your dealings with people. Are you regretting that at all when you start to see some of the things that you've said fed back to you in a situation like this? No,
not at all. Not at all. It's an incredibly difficult issue, of course, and it's about doing the right thing, I think, and not necessarily being popular as you do that thing. Part of my defence to myself, if you like, is that I think being open and honest and transparent is the best way. It may be more painful at the beginning, but ultimately over the course of the next 18 months, I think people will come to see that that has been a better way to do it. I believe some other universities are also thinking and planning in a very similar way, but have kept it very tight to the central team. Now, we will see what happens in those other institutions, but I have a certain style and a certain way, and that's the way that we have decided to operate this process. That does mean that staff and students get the opportunity to have their say, and I recognise that that puts me in an unpopular spot at this stage, but it's much, much better, I think, to be open and to carry through with that process. So I can promise people that as we go through formulating plans and looking at options and bringing ideas forward, that there will be appropriate discussions at the appropriate time. There will be consultation with the unions and with staff. There may have to be, in some circumstances, negotiations with the union. I intend to keep Senate fully involved. We had a tremendous Senate yesterday afternoon in which there was a very open and frank debate, and I have promised to take emerging plans to Senate so that they can evaluate the academic implications and be involved in the discussions and, of course, in the decision making. So that will be the style over the next 2 years, and I'm happy to be held to account for that statement.
Does this put an end to Leeds' ambitions to be in the top 50 of universities? No,
it doesn't. Obviously, it would be helpful if we had good resources and an increased income to achieve that top 50 position. But I don't think we should be deflected from that. Just remember that the ambition was actually to integrate our world-class research, our learning and teaching, and our scholarship, and to improve the academic standards of this university. And through that mechanism, others would ultimately recognise us as being a top 50 institution. It was never, ever a headlong dash for the top 50. It was always about academic standards. Now, that doesn't go away in times of financial difficulty. In fact, to my mind, it gets dramatically more important. We need to remember that. We need to stay focused on it as we make some difficult decisions. And that strategy should absolutely guide us to protect those things that are important to us in that strategy.
And finally, before we finish, what would be your message to the people who are going to look at this across the campus in Leeds, who are concerned and anxious? What's your message to them for the future?
I think look back over the last 5 years and think about what we've achieved by having great clarity about what it is we're here to do and what's important to us. And then think about what we've got to do in the next little while, and think about the teamwork that was necessary, the openness that was necessary to do that. And I think that together we can get through this difficult period and carry on with things that are important to us, making this a better university over time.
Thank you very much, Professor Arthur.
Thank you.
That's the end of this live interview with Professor Arthur. If you want more information, please speak to your line managers or keep checking the Economies Exercise website, which will have updated information for everybody. And thank you for watching.